When we think about business, we often imagine a closed loop. A company makes products, sells them, and counts cash in a vacuum. Meet our protagonist, the manager. She's about to sign off on a massive strategic move, constructing a fully automated, hyper-efficient mega factory. But that decision carries consequences far beyond the factory walls. A business operates within a network of people who have a direct interest in its moves. We call these people stakeholders. A stakeholder is any individual or group affected by, or with a direct interest in, the operations of a business. It's easy to confuse this with a shareholder. Look at this diagram. A shareholder is an owner who holds equity in the company. A stakeholder is a much broader category that includes the owners, but also encompasses everyone else impacted by the business. No major corporate decision is completely isolated. Every choice a manager makes triggers a chain reaction for these surrounding groups. The first ripple hits the people inside the building. These are internal stakeholders, the groups operating directly within the business structure itself. At the top, you have the owners and shareholders. They invested their capital to get the business running, and they expect maximum profit and rapid growth in return. Then you have the employees. They perform the daily physical and mental labor. Their objectives are entirely different. They seek job security, safe working conditions, and high wages. The manager's decision to build an automated megafactory forces these two sets of goals to collide. The owners want the robotic assembly lines to slash costs and increase profit margins, but the employees immediately fear redundancy, realizing these machines will eliminate their jobs. These competing interests are baked into the legal structure of the company. Looking at this breakdown of stakeholder roles, employees have a contractual right to fair treatment. They expect those rights to be upheld. When a strategic move designed to maximize efficiency for the owners directly threatens the livelihood of the workers, internal harmony falls apart. The conflict doesn't stop at the factory gates. The shockwave eventually hits external stakeholders, the groups outside the company walls who are still heavily impacted by its actions. This includes financial partners. Customers demand high-quality, low-cost goods. Suppliers want regular orders, prompt payments, and lenders expect strictly on-time repayments. Then there are the regulatory and social watchdogs. The government expects strict legal compliance and steady tax revenue. The local community wants the economic boost of new jobs, but they demand absolutely zero pollution or noise. Ignoring these external groups has real-world consequences. When a community feels threatened by corporate expansion, they organize. Local residents can physically block operations, launch massive public relations campaigns, and halt multi-million-dollar projects in their tracks. The manager must navigate these conflicting external demands. Upsetting the wrong stakeholder group triggers boycotts, massive legal action, or a total shutdown of the business. To see the gridlock clearly, we can map the overlapping demands pushing in on the megafactory from all sides. If the manager tries to deliver rock-bottom prices for the customers, while simultaneously generating high profits for the owners, the math forces her to cut corners in production. Cutting those corners creates industrial pollution, which provokes the local community, and invites safety violations, which triggers government intervention. Attempting to completely maximize one group's objective inevitably sabotages another's. The result is operational paralysis. The manager realizes that prioritizing only the owner's profits risks a strike from her workforce and a boycott from the public. If the people she relies on to build and buy the product walk away, the profits the owners want disappear. She deploys her most effective tool, compromise. Instead of flipping the switch on full automation overnight, she phases the new machines in slowly to allow workers time to retrain. She also spends extra capital to install heavy sound and pollution insulation for the community. We can see what happens when this balance fails by looking at this study on the UK construction industry. Companies chased lower costs by denying workers permanent contracts and pensions, which led to a fractured workforce and dangerous working conditions. The manager's compromise reduces the short-term profit payout for the owners. In exchange, it secures the long-term survival and stability of the entire business. Managers stay viable by strategically balancing these competing pains and payoffs. When presented with an exam case study, like this major factory closure, do not list every single stakeholder. Look closely at the questions. Isolate the 2 or 3 groups most intensely affected. Focusing your analysis on key players maximizes your marks. And be careful not to state that maximizing profit is always the default goal. Modern businesses constantly weigh their social responsibilities against their financial returns. A business functions as a living ecosystem, where the interest of one group is tied directly to the stability of the others.